Well, this may seem like a one-man show here this evening, but I wanted to take the time to go through a few pointers for new people and some of our existing dealers that are carrying Rainbow equipment. You know, if I look at the number of dealers we have about 65 dealers carrying equipment in my organization, so 65 times 3. All that's nearly $200,000 worth of merchandise that's out there being used to demonstrate to our prospects on a daily basis. In saying that, when we're demonstrating the Rolls Royce of the industry, we really and truly have to make sure that we look very presentable when we arrive on a demonstration. I'm not saying you've got to wear your Sunday best, but whatever you're wearing has got to look sharp, look smart, and nice and clean, tidy, etc. Not only that, your demonstration equipment, your kits need to be in spick and span shape. You must go through them periodically, make sure you've got test cloths available, all your paperwork. It's very frustrating when I receive calls from dealers to say, oh boy, you're not going to believe this, but I left my paperwork folder at the house, I left my demo book at the house, I left my black test cloths at the house. You know, make sure that you've got your equipment in your cars at all times, because you never know when you're going to be called upon to do a demonstration. Not only that, the Rainbow that you're carrying, that's my biggest pet peeve, to make sure that you have a nice, clean, shiny Rainbow when you go on a presentation. As the old saying goes, a clean Rainbow is a happy Rainbow. And when your Rainbow sparkles when it comes out the box for the first time that the customer sees that machine, they're going to be very, very impressed. One of the biggest frustrations, and this may happen to you one day, and I sure hope it doesn't, that a customer turns around to you and says, listen, your box is a little bit beat up, the plastics are all creased up, I want a new machine. I notice there's fingerprints all over the machine, so we want to buy it, but can you bring us a new machine? Well, that's a sad situation, because you know what happens. First of all, you've got to pack up the machine that you've just been demonstrating. Then you've got to come back to the office or go back home, clean that machine, make it absolutely spotless, put new plastics on it to do whatever the case may be, then take that same machine back to the customer because I gave you a brand new machine when you checked out the equipment. So let's be fair with this. Treat it as if it was your own machine that you had paid a tremendous amount of money for, and you've got to keep it nice and clean for the next demonstration. The reason for this tape today is actually I received a machine back from a representative that unfortunately had some family issues, had to return back home, had to head west back to family, and the rep had done 2 demonstrations, and to be honest, when I opened the box up to check it out, it looked like a dog's breakfast. Everything was just thrown in the box. Nothing was cleaned, the water basin was dirty, the intake was dirty, just a total mess. And 2 demonstrations, the rep had only had the machine for 4 days. Now that's very, very sad. So I'm going to go through some pointers here tonight, so that hopefully I can get your attention, and once again, treat this as if it was your own equipment, that you'd personally paid for it, and I guarantee you would look after it in a very special way. I'm just going to go through this. There's nothing prepared here, but I just want to share things with you that I do when I'm on a demonstration. And one thing I want to add at the very beginning, I have never, ever, ever, and that means never in 35 years, left a customer's home without cleaning my machine, using their beautiful hot water, using my Dawn liquid detergent, nice dry towels that I carry with me, because I want that machine to be sparkling when I put it back in the box, so when it comes out the box the next time. We don't sell every one, so obviously 1 out of 3, twice you're going to have to put that machine back in the box. And when you put it back in the box, make sure it's nice and clean, tidy, and if you were the one seeing the demonstration, would you accept that machine from the representative that's doing the demonstration? Okay, without any further ado, let's get going with this. Taking the machine out the box for the very first time is very important. When you do take it out, make sure that when you take the plastics off the machine, that you don't crumple them up. You take them off, lay them flat, and ready to go for if you have to pack it away again. You'll notice the machine looks very nice, very clean, etc. Okay? Always make sure that the cover is on the intake here. That's there, it's an air deflector. It quietens the machine down a few decibels, and it makes the machine look more like an air purifier than a vacuum cleaner if that was exposed right from the very beginning. Okay? In saying that, let's just take a look at this machine. It is nice and clean. Make sure that this intake is really clean. Because when you think about it, you've got your customers sitting just 3 feet from you, and when they look inside here and you explain the air-water separator, and if they see water in there from a previous demonstration, or if they see hair in there from a previous demonstration, or your separator is not clean, make sure that the separator is cleaned every couple of demonstrations. Take it off, give it a good old clean, dry it, put it back on there, finger tight, and you're ready to go then to start your presentation. So make sure that this intake is very clean in there. Make sure also this part is seen as well as to be clean. I also carry Q-tips with me in my demo kit. I have a little Ziploc bag with Q-tips. If there's a spot I can't get into, I'll get a Q-tip out and I clean it. When a customer sees that you take pride in your machine, in your craft, because this is our craft, they have a tremendous amount of respect for you. And it's happened many times that I've actually packed the machine back up in the box, and I said, you just wanted to see if I could get it back in the box, didn't you? And they said, well, we were wondering, there's a lot of pieces. I said, well, now that I've got it back in the box, what's it going to take to get it out of the box so that you guys can join the Rainbow family? And I've had a lot of people, and I really say this over the years, and I say this sincerely, they bought the machine when they saw the pride that I took to put it back and clean it, put it back in the box, etc. Okay? So that's the machine there. Let's talk about the water basin. When this comes out of the box and you hand it to the customer to go and get you some water, and you say, please rinse it, it's got some factory dust in it, and fill up to the top of this little bubble here. When they go to the kitchen to clean it and they see there that there's bits of carpet or bits of paper towel from the previous demonstration, you've got a problem. They're immediately going to feel that this machine is a used machine. If you get any scratches on the machine from going in and out of the dolly, bring it to me and I'll remove those scratches for you. I have a way of doing it. It's a trade secret, but I can do it, so no problem there. So make sure it's clean. Get your fingers right inside here. When I clean the water basin in a customer's house, I walk up to the kitchen sink and I let that water run. And I do apologize, I say, folks, I do apologize. I have to get this water really hot because of the oils that I've been using in my presentation. I carry a small bottle of Dawn with me on my demonstration because it's a grease cutter, and spend $1 or so at the dollar store, at the drugstore, get yourself a bottle of Dawn, carry it in your equipment, because nothing's more frustrating than when you want to clean your machine and the customers run out of soap. So this way you've always got your own soap to clean the machine. Another dead giveaway of a dirty machine is when a representative has told me they did the Archmate demo and they didn't. Because if you use the Archmate, if you did the Archmate demonstration, you're obviously going to have that soapy water there from the Archmate, which is going to help keep your clean your rainbow water basin, etc. So make sure that the water basin is nice and clean. I'm going to put this back on here again, but I want to, before I go much further, I want to tell you and talk to you about the HEPA filter. Now, the rainbow traps 99.9% of the dust, etc. There are certain things around the home, however, that are not water soluble, like talcum powder, ceramic tile dust, sheetrock, things like that. Well, I suggest you get a spoon and keep a spoon in your kit, and I like to have a spoon in my kit because a housewife can relate to a teaspoon rather than a screwdriver to clean the HEPA filter. When installing the machine, you've sold the machine and you're going through the checklist, it is your obligation to show the customer how to clean and rinse the HEPA filter every year or two. Now, the way you do this is you take it off like I just did. You fill this with water, you shake it, you tap it a few times, and you pour that water into a clear glass. You fill it with water again, you shake it, you tap it a couple of times, you pour it into another clear glass. You fill it with water again, you shake it, you tap it, and you pour that into another clear glass. And you may go through 6 or 7 glasses before you are satisfied that the water is, that the HEPA filter has been rinsed and it is nice and clean for another year or two. Okay? Now, you just slide this back on here again, put it back into the machine. Okay, there we go. There we are. And you put the back on again. You just tap it into place. Like this. One little tap and you're ready to go then. Whoops. Never quite did it. Got to get these glasses fixed. Okay, there we go. Got it on that time. See, I'm not even perfect, and I thought I was. Okay, now what you do is you take the exhaust cap off. You put this on the floor. I recommend that you actually put this out on the patio. Put it on a towel with the exhaust cap off. Switch on the machine on high and run it for 25 to 30 machine on a high speed. You want to make sure that that HEPA filter is totally dry before storing the machine away, number one, and number two, before using it. Because if that HEPA filter is anyway damp and you use the rainbow, minuscule particles could actually then stick to the HEPA filter, and it defeats the purpose of you actually going out and going through the rinsing process that I just mentioned. Okay, now I'm going to put I've got the water base on there. I've got my exhaust cap back on the machine. Okay, and now I want to clean. The first thing I want to clean, really, besides going through what I just did with the rainbow, I want to show you how you clean the aquamate. The reason I'm doing it in this sequence is because the first thing out of the box here is going to be the hose. And to clean the aquamate, there's a certain procedure that you need to go to suck the water out. Okay? I guarantee you I can go to a dealer's cars right now and I will open up there, and I'll notice that there's water in these little cavities down the bottom there. You switch on the machine and you suck out all the water that is stored around here. Now, I must mention to you, when you've got it laying like this, that you push this up and down a couple of times because it stores water in the tubing. And when you do that, you push the water into that little cavity there. You switch on the machine, and once again, no more water is in this, and you're almost ready to store it away. However, to clean the front, all you do is you pop this off, wash behind there with hot soapy water, clean it, dry it, and then snap this back on again, ready for your next demo, nice and clean. But to clean underneath here, you open up, you make sure that this is spinning freely. If there's any hairs or anything caught up inside here, remove that before you put it back. Because if you explain to the customer what you're going to be showing them, and you open it up and you've got somebody else's carpet or somebody else's blonde hair in there and they're brunette, they aren't going to like that very much, because you put in dirty equipment onto their dirty carpet, they still get offended by it. It sounds a little bit crazy, but that's true. Okay? When you finish you doing that, you put it back in the box in the bag that it came in, and you just put that on top, and that's the aquamate there. Okay? Now, make sure that you clean the wheels nicely. Okay? Make sure that your bumpers are clean, because sometimes you go up against the baseboard and they're freshly painted baseboards, and you may pick up some paint from the baseboard. So when you're cleaning this, putting it away, I always have a towel, small towel with me. I also like to have some water with me nearby so that I can clean inside here to make sure that this is nice and clean. When you put your wheels back on, make sure that you put this little gizmo back together. Yeah, this is ingenious. And you put this back on here. When you go to take the rainbow out of the box, if you haven't done this little exercise and you haven't fitted this cardboard on here properly, and when the rainbow sits inside there, when you take the rainbow out of the box, the wheels are going to come out with it, and you don't want that to happen. It looks awkward, and make sure that that doesn't happen. So there's our wheels. Make sure they're nice and clean. Now, we have a tool caddy that fits on top of the machine. Make sure it's on there. I was in a customer's home just last night correcting some paperwork, and the representative had left the machine there with the customer, but all the tools were sitting back in the box. Why have them in the box when they should be on the machine? Okay, that's why we have this little tool caddy to carry and hold the crevice tool, the upholstery tool, and the duster brush. When you put this back in again, you'll do your demonstration. I've been in homes where I've actually unblocked a kitchen sink, and this got wet and dirty. I had to clean it thoroughly before I put it back onto the customer's machine. So there it sits nice and tight on there. Okay, another thing, the floor tool also comes with its own packaging. Make sure that when you finish your demonstration that you clean your floor tool properly. Get your towel, clean in here. And you know, when I'm cleaning my machine and I'm caressing it and whatever, I'm talking to them about referrals, I'm talking about their hobbies. I'm making a friend with this customer. I have so many friends that I have in Rainbow, it's unbelievable. I'll bump into people at the mall, in the grocery store or the movies, etc. And hi Ken, how you doing? Oh great, how's your Rainbow? Oh wonderful, terrific. Got any referrals for me? They give me a referral or two. Okay, so I'm always talking my way through. Don't have any dead moments in your presentation, because that's not very healthy. Now when you put this back in again, you've got your own little cardboard deal that fits in there, and also the crevice tool goes in here as well. Okay, I'll put that back in there later on because we've got some other things to do. Now I'm going to get out the power nozzle. The power nozzle is very, very important to keep clean too, because at the end of the day, this is what the customer uses 95% of the time. They'll be using the power nozzle to do the cleaning. Okay? And you've got to show them how to take care of the power nozzle, whether you sold the machine or not. I want you to show the customer how easy it is to maintain this. For your exercise, this happens to be the machine that I got today from the representative that had to go back west. And here it's full of hair from a presentation. So I'm making sure it's nice and clean, because I don't want to be embarrassed when I go on my next demonstration. I've got somebody else's hair in their carpet, and you get to this person's house and the husband's bald and the wife's got real short hair, and they wonder where this long hair comes from. Okay, so how do you get in here to clean this? First of all, it's very, very simple to remove the base plate. You open it up there, pull on here, pull back, and up she comes. Should be. I say that, don't I? But you release that there. I'm in the lock position, that's why. And I don't have my... No, where's my teaspoon? It was, yeah. Alright, maybe I can do it with my finger. Open this up. Now this is embarrassing. It's locked. I've got to unlock this baby. Alright. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. That's a brand new one. Sometimes they're a little bit stiff. So I'm going to get one here that we use in training. Oh, there's my teaspoon right under my seat. Alright, okay. No worries. To open this up, you turn it around like this, release these two, pull back here, and it's going to sound like it's going to